Awesome.
I love that music. I just
Hey,
love it.
everyone.
I was doing the rave dance.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sitting here thinking I need some maracas.
See, I wasn't going to be caught doing this time, but now y'all did it, and I did. So, I never
Yeah.
know. Never know.
Right.
hey,
Hello,
Patrick.
everyone.
Ah,
Hello, Pat Craig.
everybody. Hello, Miss Pat Cray Hollis. How are you today? I hope you're wonderful this Friday.
Yes.
Been a lovely day.
Yes, it
Oh,
has.
it
Even
was
here, although it does look like there's a storm starting to come through,
yeah.
but it's still been
Aw.
great.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's
Well,
all
we
right.
had nasty, icky, gray, wet, nasty day, but I hadn't had it like a minute.
Well, we've been warmer than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little cooler than we are, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be good.
We actually had to turn the air conditioner
We
back
had-
on.
Wow.
Mine was on when I went to bed last
I got
night.
the fan on.
Yeah, but you you live in the middle of the heat zone. I live up here in the mountains.
Wait,
Mm-hmm.
when you can't stand it, you can't stand it. It don't matter where you at.
I
Yeah,
know. And besides that, I don't mind it being cool whenever I sleep at night because I just throw another
Oh.
blanket on the bed.
Yeah. If it's
Yeah.
snowing on my forehead, I'm doing some snoring. Let me tell you.
I'll be doing some of that tonight. I won't be as
Oh,
hot
I love
like
it.
it was last night.
Yeah.
Last night was miserable.
Oh,
I can't sleep if I'm on. I
No.
can't.
Yeah.
no.
I don't like that.
It may be
It
2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning before I get cooled off, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
sleep until then.
It was
No,
so
no, no,
hot
no, no.
here.
Mm.
So hot.
And not that it has anything to do with it, our subject today, but I got this cool gadget.
Oh,
Ooh.
It is the thing that keeps a light at your eyes,
Oh.
but it's Bluetooth, so it's got speakers built in there. It's all squishy,
right.
Mm.
so I can listen to white noise or whatever I want to while I'm.
Wow.
That's
Hmm.
fancy.
You'll have
Yeah,
to send
it
me a link
is.
on that baby.
10-hour battery. I'll send you the link. It's got a 10-hour battery.
Mm.
I said, "Oh, I'm gonna take that." Not that I
Yeah,
ever.
if I could sleep. I started to say if I slept 10 hours, I would think I died.
I don't
I
ever
slept-
sleep that long.
Yeah.
Never.
If I
But-
slept 10 hours, I would wake up tired.
Well, that too.
I don't ever sleep that long, but
Mhm.
it's worth
Never.
trying to see, But I'm gonna tell you,
Where's that? Mm.
it's actually comfortable. It's got the holes, the cup, the cup
Yeah.
thing,
So,
so it doesn't push on your eyes.
cool.
It's
Mm.
actually rather comfortable. But yeah, I'll send you the link. It'll
I
connect.
definitely
to-
want the link.
I
Yeah,
couldn't sleep with something tied on my face like that. That's-
No,
I
no, I
don't
don't know.
either.
I'll try it. And if I can't wear it, it'll go to Chris, and he can hook his phone,
Oh,
got
there
a
you
nose,
go.
and he
It's got a
can listen
nose
to his
cushion.
book.
It's got a
Yep.
nose cushion too, so it won't mash on your nose.
Oh, wow.
You're-
Yeah,
Look
Chris can listen to his books with that. That would
Is
be
that adjustable?
the
Mhm.
bomb.
It's got Velcro on the back.
Does it fit that head? Is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to say?
it's got
here, Kate?
Velcro.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's got Velcro and it folds up really small,
Uh-huh.
and it's
Cool.
got a little pouch where you keep the
Cool.
charger and your little eye thingy fits right in here.
That's nifty, neato.
It all fits in there. See?
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'll be sleeping good after Christmas.
Well, I have an eye mask that I wear already, and
Right.
I use my earbuds, but sometimes my earbuds bother the right ear because I had the neuralgia.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought I'd try that and see if I can handle that with the neuralgia.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm hoping figures a crook. So
Right.
I'll gladly send you the link. It
Oh
was
yeah.
like it was $20. It wasn't very
Oh yeah.
expensive.
Just 20
Well,
bucks.
that's
I
nice.
Mm-mm.
Bad at
No,
all.
not expensive.
No.
I thought it's worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for that, if it, if especially if it's as comfortable as you say it is on your face, then
It
it would be
was.
worth that.
It
Just for
was very
sleeping mask.
I
Yeah.
mean you don't have to use the Bluetooth part of it, but I have an eye mask now that's very comfortable for sleeping and blocking out the light. Because we leave the bathroom light on, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't handle that.
I have to have a light on. I,
I don't
I do
know.
too. I
away
do
from
too.
me, but like a night light away from
Yeah.
me. I don't want
I
to be
don't.
around.
I
I
have the
don't.
living room. I have a small living room light on,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
and that helps me go from the bedroom to the bathroom.
Right.
Mhm.
But in the bedroom, I like it pitch black and quiet.
Mm-mm.
Can't do
No.
that.
I have to be able to see where I'm putting my feet when I get up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, I can put on the eye mask and walk through the whole house. Remember, light in here. It don't bother me.
I'm scared of boogers, so I got to be able to see where I'm putting my feet. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I prefer it dark. It's
Mm-mm.
more comfortable.
But that's what
Nope.
you got used to too. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
But
used to it.
I've been scared of the dark since I was a little bitty kid.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
he needs the light. It's more comfortable to him to sleep with a little bit of light. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a very bright light, but he
Yeah.
No.
needs a little bit of ambient light.
Yep.
Yeah. Mine's a night light in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Yeah, that's what ours is, and I just
Right.
don't want any light at all.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't need it. I mean, I could walk like I could, if it
yeah,
was pitch black, I could still move around just fine. I just
Right.
don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, I have to have light. I have to have a little bit of light. I mean, in my bedroom where I'm at, I have to have a little bit of light. Drives Wayne crazy, but I keep telling him, you want to sleep like a polar bear, then I get to have my light.
I'd
He
be
mumbles and
fine.
grumbles, but
Well, I like to
I think
sleep like a
it's
polar bear in the dark.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I'll wear an eye mask, and I'm okay with that.
Mm.
Yeah.
But remember, his alarms start going off real early in the wee hours, and
No.
that's why I like to have the white noise in my ears, so I don't recognize his alarms started to go off so early.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
doesn't always block out the alarms, but sometimes
Right.
it does. His alarms start going up at 2:30 in the morning,
No.
Wow.
Oh,
and
Wow.
I prefer to have
hi,
some
Mary.
to help.
There's my Mary.
Hey,
Thank you
Mary.
for
Hello
coming.
there, my Texas sister. How you doing?
So if I have some semblance of white noise, it'll help blocking out some
I
of
have
the
to have that.
alarms.
Right.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
My,
Hello, Daniel.
hello,
How you doing,
Daniel.
sweetie?
How are you, darling?
So it
I have
helps.
to have a fan white noise. Now, if that fan turns off, you better believe I'm sitting right straight up in that bed wondering what's
Yes.
happening to my fan.
That's
Yes.
right.
You wake up like this.
No,
I
I
do.
don't even. It doesn't even have to stop turning
Right.
before it stops. That I'm wide awake wondering what happened to my fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Now that's
Yeah.
the way Wayne is. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. I've woken up because Paris gone out, and I'm like, wake up,
Yeah.
wake up, wake up.
Yeah, turn out. So what?
My
Right.
my cell stopped.
Yeah.
Fan stopped. Air conditioner's off. Wake up, wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hot.
I need that. I can hear that. But I'm
Man.
sorry for the diverting to a different topic.
No problem
Anyway.
whatsoever. We have plenty of time to talk about how you iron out the kinks.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're going to talk about how your yarn choices make a difference to you, to your project, to a lot of different things.
That's right.
Yes.
Lots of different things. It's not just high dollar, low dollar kind of
Mm-mm.
thing. That's not what we're talking about here tonight.
No.
What we're talking about is if, say, for instance, you're making an heirloom item, you don't want to use necessarily the cheapest stuff you can find, like
No.
Timu. You don't want to. Yeah,
You don't want to use Timu yarn.
no,
Yeah.
No,
No Timu yarn.
no.
gosh,
You
no.
know, but at the same time, if you're making something that is going to be more utilitarian,
Yeah.
you don't want to use.
Your bougie yarn.
Yeah, you don't want to use perhaps a $37 hank of yarn. You know what I mean? You want to
Yeah.
use something that's can be washed and washed and washed and washed, especially like a baby blanket, because we all know they get nasty. Come
Oh
on.
yeah. Real
If
quick.
they're used, they're going to get
Oh, yeah.
nasty. If it's an heirloom item, it's something they're going to take one picture in and put up to give to the baby when they get old enough to give to their own babies. Kind of
That's
thing.
right.
So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how the yarn makes a difference in what you're making, the project you're making, and how it turns out.
That's right.
And Froggy, what was that you were telling me about?
Oh, yeah.
Socks.
I was telling
Hello,
you.
Sam.
Hi,
Hello,
Sam.
Sam.
Hi, Sam. So I'm designing a pattern for a pair of crocheted socks.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to making socks, I don't want to use an acrylic because acrylic is basically plastic.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that is going to make my feet sweat
Mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
feel yucky.
Right.
If the acrylic gets wet, then my feet are going to be wet
Yeah.
and my feet are going to get cold when they're wet and it's going to feel icky.
Right.
Nice.
I want something that's going to be now the acrylic can be soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very.
I want something soft. I want something absorbent.
That's what I was gonna say.
I want something that when it gets wet will still stay warm.
Right.
Yes.
And I want something squishy.
Right.
And breathable.
And
Mhm.
definitely something breathable.
Right.
Yes.
Because it's on my feet, they got to be breathable.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And not because Froggy has stinky feet. That's
no,
not.
no, because if I make socks for anyone, I want something breathable
Right.
Yes.
because it's just comfortable.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
I was telling you that I'm going to do the first pattern, the first iteration in an acrylic, but I'm not going to wear it.
No.
I'm doing what's called a mock-up in acrylic.
Right.
But the final one, what I'm
And
going to
tell them about the reason that you're using
I'm going to tell you.
acrylic for first. Yeah.
What I'm going to wear is going to be made out of this,
Beautiful.
which is in a 55%, a 55% alpaca, a 45% merino. And the reason I'm using this, one, it's a worsted weight. Two, it's an alpaca wool, which is going to be warm. And if I wear it on my feet and it gets wet, my feet will still stay warm
Mm-hmm.
and it's breathable.
Right.
And if my feet sweat, it's absorbent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the main reasons for using this, not to mention the fact that it's super squishy,
Ooh, and it's
Mhm.
beautiful.
super
Yeah.
soft.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
love the softness. And quite frankly, I like this blue color.
yes, it's beautiful. Beautiful color.
I know it's not a typical bright color for Froggy.
It'll do. It'll do.
I'm going for slipper socks is what I'm going for.
Right.
But I really love this color. I actually got this on clearance. I'm sorry, they don't have it anymore. I bought it months ago.
We love Clarence.
This has so many of the properties of what I'm looking for in a type of slipper sock
Right.
thing. Whereas the acrylic would not be absorbent.
No.
No,
If
definitely not.
if it got wet and I was outside, my feet would get cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the
And
reasons I
stay
wear
wet.
wool socks in the wintertime here going out to the barn.
Right.
Yep, definite. That is a consideration for a lot
Yes.
of different projects
Hmm.
Right.
because any of your natural fibers are going to breathe.
Oh yes. Thank
Any
goodness.
acrylic will not breathe.
It's
No.
not
But
good.
Mm-mm.
at the same time, acrylic is very, very warm.
Yeah.
It
It
is.
Mm-hmm.
just depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Acrylic is great for blankets. You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
it's even great for cardigans,
Yeah.
Mhm.
especially if you're making it with a heavier. I mean, with the combination of stitches, that's going to make a more dense fabric for you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
um, yeah.
It's
So
great
Yep.
acrylic
for
is great
toys.
for that. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
great for toys. Hi, Diane.
Hello,
Hi,
Hello,
Diane.
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 It makes a difference in um, your stitches on a blanket too.
Oh
How
yes.
much definition you want your stitches to have.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah.
And Maureen, we know you designing patterns and stuff know more about the stitches that works together.
Thank
You
you.
know how a different material that you're working with makes those
Right.
stitches different.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
like Froggy, when I am working on a pattern that I'm designing, I always go to acrylic first just
Yeah.
to do my mock up.
Yes.
And then, depending on the number of times, which I'm sure we'll get to this in just a little bit, that I've used that in a mock up, I'll rip it out when I'm through and then, roll it up and reuse it for another
Yes.
project. But what it does for me, especially if I'm designing, let's say, a cardigan, um,
Diane.
I will use that acrylic, if nothing else, to make up a big old swatch, so I can see how those stitches are going to work together, what kind of textile it's going to develop for me,
Yes.
and is are you know what I'm seeing in my mind, is it going to transfer basically onto the pattern, and then
Yes.
after that, I will decide, is the acrylic going to be okay? Do I want to find something that maybe is an acrylic blend? Do I want to switch it over to something a little more bougie, you
Yes.
know, like a superwash merino or a linen or cotton blends? So,
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Diane. Diane, I didn't make the scarf. It was a gift to me. So thank you. Go ahead.
And we love it, by the way.
yes, we were all oogling it earlier.
Yes.
Yes, there's a lot of different options that you can choose
Much more
depending on
so,
the
much more.
project.
But
Depend-
much more so than whenever I started crocheting. Of course,
oh, yes.
yeah, I mean, you either bought acrylic or cotton,
Or wool.
and yeah,
Or
well,
Mhm.
in Texas we don't play much with
No,
wool.
no, no.
Dan.
You don't see much wool here in Mississippi, Nathan. No,
Yeah,
no.
Naughty Dan.
hmm yeah, but yeah, for a long, long time. Um, I mean, even when my girls were growing up, it was either cotton or acrylic. Very rarely did I run across any polyester.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been until the last 10, maybe 15 years that I've started playing with cotton blends, because I, in making sweaters, especially body sweaters, I mean,
Mhm.
ones that you can wear like a little shirt or camisole under. Uh,
Yes, but it's still touching your skin.
right.
yes, still feels good. Um, But we all know that even really good cotton is going to stretch some the longer you wear
Yes,
it.
Yep.
yes,
Um, but and like I said, growing up, even with when I'd make things for my kids, I had to take that into account. Well, now there's so many cotton blends that you can wear and work with that gives you the feel, the absorbency, the coolness of cotton, but
Yes.
yet helps the cotton now to hold its shape, and you don't have to worry about the stretch.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. And that's one of the main considerations that you take into account is how you want your project to look and feel.
Mm-hmm.
Feel.
Yeah.
But for someone, just I'm just saying, for instance, because this is what I think of when it's my turn. Is what can I help somebody with that maybe is a new crocheter, or
Right.
maybe they've been crocheting for a long time, but they don't know the difference between a Walmart yarn and a $36 skein. You know,
Right.
and there is a big difference. There's a
Oh
big
yeah,
difference, but it
absolutely.
is worth the difference if that's what you want to put into your project.
Right.
But
Well,
at the
the
same time, even Red Heart Super Saver is a very good yarn. It
Yes.
gets very, very soft after it's laundered, washed, and
Mm-hmm.
fabric
Mhm.
softened, and all that. And it's gajillion colors that you can use, but
Mm-hmm.
it's rough and it's maybe hard for some people to use to going through their fingers. Okay.
Yeah.
But Red Heart with Love is the exact same yarn. The
It
only
is.
difference is it's been through one more process that
Right.
makes it softer than the Super Saver.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's the price difference between Super Saver and Red Heart with Love.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that don't know that that's what the difference is might be looking at it and saying, "Well, why would I pay five
Yep.
dollars more a skein for that whenever this gets just as soft as that is after it's washed? Why would I want to do that?" Because it depends on what you're making, how soft you want it to be when the person that you're making it for gets it,
Right.
Hmm.
right?
Hi,
And
Nancy.
Sherry, I know you've made gobs of blankets and throws and shawls, and I know you know the difference in a lot of those yarns would have made to your projects.
I would never use the with love,
Mhm.
and this one has the sparkles in it
Mhm.
for
Right.
a blanket.
Beautiful.
For a blanket, I would never use it for a blanket
Right.
Hello, Nancy. Thank you for
Hello,
calling.
Nancy, sweetheart. How are you doing?
because to me, this is much softer
Mhm.
Right.
to begin with,
Yes.
but there is more of a halo
Mm-hmm.
to
Mhm.
this than the Super Saver
Yes.
because
Yeah.
of the processes.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I would want this to be a sweater or something right off the bat,
Right.
Mhm. Mhm. That's right. Yep.
where I would use, say, the Big Twist or the Red Heart Super
Uh-huh.
Saver
Mhm.
for blankets only.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see the difference too between Red Heart Super Saver, the Burnett Big Twist, or whatever it is. I don't forget
Yeah,
which one
Big,
makes
big
Big Twist.
Twist,
Mm-hmm.
Burnap.
And then you have let's see, what's the other?
Karen, 1 pounder.
Yes,
My
the
brand.
1 pounders, Karen 1 pounder, the Lion Brand 1 pounders.
Yeah.
They're basically all the same.
Yeah,
They're
Right.
on the same plane. They're give or take a little the same price is that type of thing.
right,
Right.
But it's all in personal opinion about the yarn.
Right.
exactly.
I know a lot of people swear by Red Heart. They wouldn't use anything else if they were getting a value
Right.
yarn. And I know a lot of people that wouldn't do anything but Big Twist.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
all personal preference. For me, I hate Big Twist. Sorry. I do not like it.
For me,
I've
it's too
tried to
sweaty.
like it and I don't. Just
For
I've
don't.
me, it's
never had a
too sweaty.
I've never had it split on me.
I
Really?
don't have a problem with the splitting, but I'm starting to like that Just Worsted by Premier.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. I
Premier
love
makes a
that.
good value yarn.
That's starting to become my number one.
Yes.
I love it because, especially if I can go to the dollar store and pick it up,
Yes.
those little bitty skeins,
Yep.
most of them are anywhere from 97 to 100 yards. I can get amigurumis out of those.
Yes.
And,
I think
you can
that.
go on, you
Mhm.
can go on Dollar Tree's website and you can buy them by the pack and they're even cheaper
Yes.
than
They
buying
are.
singles.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of
Uh,
times at the
thank you.
Dollar Tree. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said thank you to Maureen. I didn't think about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also
yeah.
get some of them for $1 on Premier's website as well.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Sure can.
And
Mhm.
and a lot of times on the Dollar Tree, if you order it, you have to get a certain amount. Though they don't sell one or two at a time. Sometimes you have to get a whole box full.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
But
a drawback to that.
Thank you, Diane. You be
thank you,
careful.
Diane.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
being
much
here,
for being
Diane.
here.
Hugs, babe. On
I
Premier's, you
forgot
don't
about
have to
Premier.
buy a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
But on Premier, you have to use my affiliate link.
We all know
And we
that.
can do that.
Yes, we can. And
Um,
that helps you and that helps us too. So,
That's
It helps
right.
me, but it doesn't cost you a penny to use it.
Mm-mm.
I
I
understand.
just
They
want to
also,
use.
oh, I want to do one thing. I want to say one thing.
Stop.
So, Beth,
Hi, Beth.
Hello, Miss Beth.
Hello, Beth, sweetie. How are you?
thank you, Beth, very much. I love it.
Beautiful.
Hence the reason I am wearing it.
Aw.
It
I
is
thought I'd
wonderful.
tell you
I'm
I love it.
so
So,
jealous.
Yes,
thank you, Beth.
it
Yes,
is beautiful.
I love it. Looks
thank
like
you.
sugar
It
skulls to me. I love it.
right.
Yes, that's what they look like as sugar skulls.
It
It
does.
I
really
know.
does, and they're so cute.
Well, I
Especially
love
And
the
the
them.
one with the
detail
one little
on
pink
them.
bow. That's so cute. That's so
They're
cute.
adorable.
They
I love
are,
it.
each and every one of them.
I
I
love
love
it. I love it. So, Beth, I was super excited when I opened it. I had no idea what it was. I am overwhelmed, and thank you very much.
so sweet.
Back up.
And back to
Thank
what we were
you.
talking about. Maureen hinted on it a little bit about what do you do if you know you're going to be making something and you know you're going to be turning it out several times. You don't want to go to a bougie yarn
No,
necessarily and tear it apart 15 times.
No,
no.
no,
You
no, no,
don't
no.
want to do that. If you're just if you're making something maybe that you had never made before,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're using, say, a new person's pattern that you haven't
Right.
used their patterns before,
Mm-hmm.
even if they call for a quote unquote bougie yarn or
Mm-hmm.
a higher price dollar yarn than what you're used to using, make it up first in the cheap stuff
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing now.
because you can take it apart and
Yep.
still use that yarn again and again.
Right.
Yep.
If you
Well,
use the bougie yarn, a lot of times it retains whatever
that's what I
project
do.
that you put it in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
Yes.
I use this over and over again. I have to frog it, but I'll use it over and over again in tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
It is a red heart, but it
And it
works
doesn't
great.
hurt it. It does not hurt it a bit to
No,
do that.
Nope.
no,
Not a bit.
Nope.
no, it's been a couple things. It's going to be
But
another one after.
you wouldn't want to use your sock yarn that you're gonna
Oh,
make your socks
no,
out
no,
of
no.
to do that.
Let's see. I will buy Big Twist because it is a couple of dollars cheaper
It is.
Right. It's a
than
good
Red Heart.
workhorse.
It's a
Than
good
Red
work.
Heart.
Fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite yarn is I love this yarn.
I love that.
Oh,
Yes.
but
Mine is too.
Yes,
unless there's a coupon,
can't afford it.
Right.
I can't afford it.
30%
And
off,
I'm
yes.
using all of
Mhm.
this before I go and buy any more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, the I love
I
the
just
Sharon is pricey,
If
unfortunately.
if I had to absolutely pick, and we're talking price wise,
Right.
I would do mainstay.
I was going to say, me too.
It's softer than
I like
any of the
mainstay.
others.
Right.
It does not split for me personally. It does
Me
not
either.
split. It's
Me
a
either.
very, very nice yarn to work with. But
Yes.
there are such a limited amount
oh
of
yeah,
colors.
Yeah,
yeah.
If
Yeah,
they
that
came out with more colors for that, they wouldn't know how to keep it in stock. I'm telling you.
They
It's
can't
too.
keep it in stock as it is.
yes.
That's right.
It's because
That's
it's a
right.
good yarn. It really
Main
is.
It
It
It is
is.
a
makes
good
me
yarn.
think of a really good cotton blend
Yeah.
yarn to
Yeah.
feel of it. It
Mhm.
does not feel like it's acrylic to me
No.
at all.
No.
But even
no, I
still,
think it feels like acrylic.
if you go to Walmart, it's still more expensive than this on sale.
Yeah,
What the red heart or
the big twist.
The
big
big
twist?
twist,
Big twist. Okay. Well, see, I don't like big twist.
the mainstay is still more expensive
I don't
than
like
big.
big twist.
Yeah.
I do. I like
I'm
big
sorry,
twist.
I've tried to like it
It's
because it
okay.
is cheaper,
You don't
It
but
have
I
to like
just
it,
can't
You
do
don't
it.
have
I
Yeah.
to
just,
like
oh Lord,
but
it's
you don't
awful.
have to like it.
No,
That's right. That's why there's so many different ones.
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And for somebody that is perhaps a new crocheter or a money conscious
Right.
crocheter, and let's face it, folks, we've all been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever, at
No.
all, at
No.
all. You know, you need to know the difference between what you're using, maybe, and what you could be using, and the
Right.
difference it's going to make in your
Yes.
project
That's
Yeah,
before
right.
you spend your money. Okay,
Right.
there are oodles and gobs and loads of people. I'm not going to say ladies, people that
hmm
do yarn reviews.
Mhm.
They'll buy the yarn, and it's not necessarily always going to be the real bougie stuff. It's not going to be that.
That's right.
It's everyday kind of stuff that anybody could afford, maybe a skein or two of.
right.
Mhm.
Okay, and they're going to work it up into what you call a gauge swatch.
Right.
Okay, and there's more than one reason for making those, but those are another topic.
Yeah,
All these people that are making these little swatches, little squares, maybe about like this, out of this yarn, are showing you what it looks like when you make it up, maybe in different stitches.
hmm
Right.
Maybe if you make it different sized,
Mhm.
what it feels like, what it crocheted like. If they have problems with it at all, they let you know.
Yep.
This is not the one you want to buy. If
Mm-mm.
you have to frog it a bunch, this is
Right.
not the one you want to buy. If you want it to be soft when you
Mhm.
finish, this is a more industrialist
Right.
type fabric, and sometimes that's what you want. Sometimes that's what you want. But the people that work up these swatches with this yarn are trying their best to help people to decide on the yarn before
right.
you go and spend your money on it.
That's right.
Watch these videos, people.
Right.
Use the videos to help
Yes.
yourself. There
Mhm.
Yeah,
didn't used to be all this back when I
No.
started back crocheting. Basically, between YouTube and the library, I taught myself. Okay.
Mhm.
All I knew how to do was a double crochet granny stitch, period. That is all I knew how to do up
Wow.
until the time that I got word that I could go to a public library and I had access to the internet.
Mhm.
Then
Can
I
we?
taught
Yep.
myself.
Yeah.
Whole lot of reading, whole lot of watching videos. A whole bunch of them, by the way, happen to have been Miss Froggy's blood. Well, just not.
Can we talk about polyester?
Yes. Oh my word. There's.
Wow.
Oh, go ahead, Sherry Kay. I don't even want them.
Hello, Darcia,
Hey,
sweetheart.
Darcia.
You're never late, so
Hello,
long as
Miss
you make it in.
Garcia.
Hi,
Thank you
Darcia.
for coming.
I bought this.
Mm.
Oh, I want to be able to see it. Hang
Oh,
on.
yarn
Yes,
bee, yes.
Ooh,
I like
wow.
It's soft. It's
Right.
beautiful.
Very-
But
I'm taking it back
Why?
Yes.
because I cannot crochet with it.
Oh,
I was
you
going to make a cat pattern, not the
Uh-huh.
one.
Mhm.
It would not, I could not close up my circle.
oh wow.
It would not move. And it called for a polyester yarn.
Mhm.
Wow.
what
And I'm,
size is the yard call for?
Horrible.
uh,
Horrible.
an eye hook.
I would have gone
Even
down.
if you go up, Froggy, even if you go up 2 or 3 hook sizes,
I wouldn't do
I
that.
went to it.
stuff is the
I went
god
to a DK.
awfulest.
Then I went
Oh,
to a DK, and I could not.
No, you don't go up. You have
Not
to
when
go.
you do an amigurumi. Yeah,
no,
you
I
go
mean
down.
to make the polyester work.
Oh,
Even if you
I
go
could
up
not
to
get
a
it to
giggle
work.
hook,
Period.
it will not.
Wow.
It would not. I could not even pull the magic circle.
I'm gonna get some and
Right.
try it.
Great.
I said, nope. I'm
Yeah.
taking it back.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Yes.
some and try it.
It's,
I
well, I
like
tell
it.
you what,
to
I
me,
have
it's like it's on
used.
a really, really thin, really thin string. The fluff is tied to a really, really thin string,
Yes.
and if you
Yeah.
pull that, it's just and that
Mhm.
there it
Like that.
goes. Yeah.
That's that.
When I can't tie the magic ring, I do chain 2, and I
Yeah.
work everything in the chain.
Yeah.
Mhm. But
And
you
then
can't do that with this because it will bust the yarn.
Yeah.
and then I leave a long tail, and I go back and I
And you
crochet
sew it.
and I yeah and I yeah.
But if you have a lot of whatever you're using, doubles or singles or whatever it happens to
Mhm.
be, if there's a lot of them that you've got to go back and put in that chain, it will bust that chain before
Yep.
you get them done.
I know that, Connie.
And
I hate that stuff.
that's what
You're
happened.
normally not putting more than 6 to 10 in there.
Well,
But what did it call for on your pattern, Sherry, when it said to use
oh,
it? Do you remember?
I don't. I think I even trashed.
Oh my goodness. Wasn't the pattern's fault?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I-
I'm saying, Garcia. You have to sew the circle
I
close with those type of yarns.
I
Mhm.
closed the pattern. I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
It's,
for 3 days. I tried to do this.
Yeah,
and- yeah.
it's one
And
that pulls away from
see,
itself. Yeah, there are
I will
yarns
not.
that pull away from themselves.
I will
Yeah.
I
not.
use a respun polyester yarn put out by Lion Brand, and I have used it on my amigurumis, and it works well. But it doesn't
Oh,
have the fuzz on it.
It's
I
more like
mean,
a microfiber type
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
I've
the
used fuzzy
respun.
yarn. I've used fuzz yarns and never had a problem.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I've had
you're more experienced on the amigurumis than I am. So
but I've had to sew the circle closed multiple times.
Right.
Mm.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Now I have done that, but now what I would do when the time that I did use that yarn, once I finally figured out what I could do,
Mhm.
I used the magic circle, but like Froggy said, I left a big long tail, a lot longer than I would
Normal.
normally,
Yeah.
and as I was doing the stitches into the magic circle, I left the magic circle big on
Yes.
purpose. so that
Right.
it wouldn't pop it apart. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as far as going and doing it in like it should have been done, no, I would never use that stuff. Never.
No,
Yeah.
because you can't pull the circle
Mm-hmm.
when you've got the thin string holding up
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the yarn.
I would just
Yeah.
ease it. Yeah,
I was
ease
trying.
it.
I was trying to ease it, and I finally said, "Nope, I'm done," because it started pulling it apart, and I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
nope.
No,
Well,
that's
I
why
eased
I
as far
changed.
as I could, and then I used a different kind of yarn just so
Yeah.
that circle closed. I used a
Well, that's
regular.
why I chain 2 and work all my singles in the second chain from the hook. Then I'll take about a 10 or 12-inch tail and go back in and sew my circle closed.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Thank you. There you go, Nance. I
And
do sometimes have to resew the circle. Depends on how thick the yarn is and
yeah,
whether or not it leaves a gap in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Sometimes it's just hard to pull it completely closed because of the yarn that you're using is
Yeah.
fluffy, and sometimes it just don't want to go together. But it can be done. It can be done.
Can
Just
be done.
close it. Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
But another consideration when you're taking something apart, um, suppose, let's say, for instance, now I'm just doing it for instance, somebody that has gone to the Dollar Tree and bought what they could afford, which is the just yarn or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be, there the $1.25 yarn, and they're making something, they're practicing, they're just new, and they're making something, they take it apart and they use it again, they take it apart and they use it again, they take it apart and use it again. How long do you, or are you able to use a particular type yarn over and over again before you say, okay, I can't fool with this anymore, this is just too kinky. I can't make nothing with it no more. You know,
Right.
that type
Well,
of thing.
you can use it as many times until the yarn becomes,
Afraid.
for
Yes,
lack of a better word, scraggly.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Scraggly
But
is a good word.
the type of yarn is going to make a difference in whether or not you should do that. You know, whether or not you're going to get more money's worth out of what you bought. Let's say that, because if you buy cotton, cotton's going to kink up on you pretty quick. You know,
Yes.
as you're making something and taking it apart and making something and taking it apart, it's going to kink up to where it's a little more difficult to work with. You know, how long do you mess with it before it starts coming all to pieces? You know, it starts fraying, starts popping the threads that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You
no,
know,
once
you don't
it's
necessarily
fraying,
want to you
yeah,
don't
once it's
necessarily
fraying,
want to
I
use
cut it and don't
cotton
use it.
if
Yeah.
you're taking it apart. You might want to use your acrylics. Um, you don't want to use the fuzzy yarn like Sherry's talking about because you can't take it apart and use it again very many times.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It'll break all to
No,
pieces. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
it'll have bald spots.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Sam and Nancy, that's fantastic, and you are both right.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Mhm. If you use something like a cotton blend or an acrylic blend or a wool blend, anything like that, if you spend your money and you buy an expensive yarn and you make something and you don't like it, you take it out. You make something, oh, I just don't like this color on this pattern, and you take it out. You can always go back and straighten those yarns too,
Yes.
depending on the material that it's made out of.
Mm-hmm.
Acrylic is pretty hard to straighten because you're going to have to wet it and block it to make it straighten up almost back to what it was.
Right. To get the memory of the stitch out of it.
Yes, the memory. I couldn't remember the memory. But if you use, say for instance, um, help me, Froggy. Uh,
Any yarn, it doesn't matter what brand or what fiber. If
Right.
you are going to frog it, it's best to wind it or rehank it.
Right.
yes,
So
yes.
rehanking it would be winding it on your Swift and then putting it
Mhm.
back in hank form,
Right.
or just get out your ball winder while you're frogging it and wind it on the ball winder while you're
Yeah,
Right.
frogging
Mhm.
it,
that does help it. Helps it a
because
lot.
then you're taking the memory out of it and you're putting it back into cake form.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Now I've got this pretty much. Um, it's going to have the memory of the stitches,
mhm,
but hang on. See, it'll have the memory of the stitches. See the kinks?
that's what we're talking about. The kinks, right there.
There's
Yeah.
the memory. But what I'll do, you can see there's the memory of the stitches. But what
Hmm.
I'm actually going to do is wind it. And I'll do a center pull ball just in my hands. Um,
Hmm.
I make a figure eight for some part of it. And then I'm going to go around my hands while I'm frogging right now. It's just ripping it
Mhm.
right now.
Uh-huh.
And I am
As you
actually
please.
creating a center pull ball. I'm holding the center pull string
Hmm.
and I'm just winding it up.
Yep.
And this is getting the kinks back out of it.
Right.
Yes.
And it will so help the yarn. And I'm holding my fingers apart so that I don't have a tightly wound ball.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Because
because that's
when,
the other thing. Whenever you're rewinding it, you don't want to wind it tight.
No.
no,
Yes. Yes, that's
no,
correct.
I'm getting ready to take it off my hand. I wait
And
till it gets to be a certain size and you'll
what
see.
Froggy's doing is going to absolutely help the stitches, the
Yep.
memory of the stitches. It's going to
Yeah,
straighten, for lack of a better word, straighten the yarn out
Right.
yes,
quite a bit. It's not going to make it exactly like it was when you started using it brand new. It's not
no,
going to.
no. Then I
But
take it off my fingers and I place both hands like this so that I'm creating a gap when I'm winding the yarn this way.
yes,
That way, I've got a gap going either way, and
not
I'm not
full tap.
creating any tension in my yarn.
Right.
Hmm.
And then I just wind quite a bit.
Well, I
And
have
I'll,
to say,
hmm,
Yes.
I've never seen anybody do the figure eight.
yeah,
Oh
I've
yeah.
always I've always taken and done a four and
hmm.
spread my fingers apart and did it and held the yarn.
So it's
And
nice and loose and
yeah,
squishy.
I like
Mhm.
that. New idea.
Yes.
Thank you.
By
Yeah, I
doing
may use
this,
that next time I do one.
Yeah.
and by doing this, and see, I took my fingers out and I put them back, and I'm winding a different direction. But
See,
by
Just
doing
slightly
this,
different. Hmm.
I
it's
do
it's
the
easier
spreading.
on the yarn.
Hmm.
It's so much easier on the yarn, and I can actually hold my finger here, switch, and change direction. And I'm
Yep.
still going around my fingers. I'm not hurting the yarn. My center pull tail is still right here.
Yep. And
And
it
Yep.
I'm
makes a difference too when you're reusing it. If you can wind it this way and you use the center pull like that, it makes it a lot easier on you to
Yes,
go
it
back and
does.
reuse it because it's going to keep the yarn from kinking up on itself, widening up, tangling up, and making some barf.
well, I do this, I've been doing this for a while, and the whole
Hmm.
thing is still really squishy, still really soft, you
Yep.
know. And then, of course, I turn it again, and right here, I'm around my fingers
Yep.
Right.
again
Both
on both
fingers.
sides, because by doing this, you've got all that extra room that you've created with your fingers in there. I'm almost done. By,
Hmm.
you don't want extra tension in your yarn.
No.
No,
No.
because it does stretch it out of whack. It will
Yes, it
make
Yep.
a
does.
difference, a big,
It,
big difference.
I don't want to stretch my yarn. I don't care what brand it is. This
Right.
Yes,
happens to be that Red Heart Granny Square yarn.
yes, exactly.
I don't want to stretch this yarn in any way,
Nope.
shape, or form.
Nope.
And so I have been able to reuse this yarn twice so far. This
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm winding it now, and I'm going to use it a third time
Right.
because I'm getting out the stitch memory from it,
Yes.
and it'll work just fine. Yeah, my fingers are being covered up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically do this until I feel like I'm pushing too hard on my fingers. So
Yep.
there's
Mm-hmm.
really no rhyme or reason to how long I do this. Um, I just do it till I feel like I'm too tight on my fingers.
But doing the same direction there for however
No,
many loops you're making,
mm-mm.
you're 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 going the same direction in so many loops.
So
Stopping,
many.
and
I'm
you're
going
turning
around. Yeah,
slightly.
I'm going in a circle so many times. I used to
Uh-huh.
count it. It's like 25 or 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then I switch it up and go the other direction.
exactly. Doing that when you get ready to reuse that yarn, that's what I was talking about, it helping you.
Yeah.
Because when you're pulling it from the center pull out, it keeps it from tangling up on itself. If you just go
Yeah.
around and round and round and round and round all the same way, okay,
No.
you pull that out. When you pull that yarn out of that center, it's going to yank out about 50 loops.
Mm-hmm.
It will
Yep.
yank out about
There
50
you are.
loops. It will. And it'll be a real pain in the
Uh-huh.
and you'll be so mad.
Yeah.
And I'm right at
You
the
won't
very
want to do it again. You won't want to do it again.
no, you'll learn.
Mhm.
The hard way actually.
No, Elizabeth, that's not what we were talking about.
No, ma'am.
No,
We're
I'm
talking
not talking
about
about the
how
flower.
to get
No,
rid of the stitch definition, how you
no.
can help get rid
No.
of it in your
I just
yarn.
wound it and then I'll just take the tail. This is the tail,
Tuck it
and I'll
under a little
tuck it under a few stitches. Hang on,
bit. Mm-hmm.
getting it under there. I've been meaning to do this. I'm glad I finally got it done. I just tucked it under. Here's my center pull,
There you
Exactly.
go.
Yep.
and there you go. And now
Yep.
it's done. I got a whole
And
bunch
there,
right here, and it's great to
Mm-hmm.
it's good to use. It's
Yep.
not
and
gonna.
there, folks, is one of the reasons that I watched probably when I'm knitting for a long time. It's those
It's
little things like
useful.
that. Little things.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this probably since I was a teenager.
Yep.
So I've been doing this for a long time. I used to take it out of the skein form and put it into a big old ball.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
Well, somebody that has never been told these things, I mean, it's we think it's just common knowledge.
Right.
I do.
That's simple. Everybody knows that. No,
No,
No.
everybody does not know that. And
no.
like I said, I watched Froggy when I'm knitting for a long, long time. Long time. But I was scared to death to ask a question. Even if it was on a video that I knew nobody would know that I had asked the question,
No.
I
Yeah.
was afraid to
Yeah.
ask because I was afraid they would think I was dumb.
Oh, no.
You should
That they
never
There
would
be
is
think I
no
didn't
dumb
know.
question.
But there's people that's out there that's that way because they don't know any different.
right.
It's
Right.
not because you're dumb. It's because you have never been exposed to all
Right.
the tips and tricks, all the things that make a difference, how it can make a difference, why it makes a difference,
Right.
and the price from between this difference and that difference. If you haven't ever been told, then you don't know.
See,
Right.
You don't know.
I didn't think the way I round the ball was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
didn't.
to somebody that
Well,
doesn't
no,
know,
I
it's a
understand
good tip.
now. Well, I
It's a big
understand now, but
Mhm.
up until 5 minutes ago, I had no idea.
Yeah. Well,
I never
there's
thought of doing it.
well, we know a lot more about yarn
I do.
now than we used to.
Oh yeah.
Back when I first started back to crocheting, there still wasn't a whole lot that people knew about the different types of yarn and the difference that they made in your projects. All they knew was price.
Shoot,
Yeah.
I didn't even know
And when
you
they
could
got it,
order
they
it
would feel
online
it.
from across the pond.
Exactly. You got it and you felt of it. And when you
Right.
felt of it, okay, I
Right.
like it or I don't like it. That it didn't have anything to do with the project you were doing. And
Yeah.
people didn't know any different than to make like make a baby blanket out of a $36 hank of yarn. You don't want to, unless it's an heirloom item, you don't
Right.
want to do that. But people didn't used to know any better. They thought, okay, the more money I pay for this yarn, no matter what I make out of it, it's going to be better. It's
Yes.
going to be the best I can do, and
Okay.
not necessarily.
Well,
Not
I didn't know you could, back when I started and came back to it after I put everything down when I was 18, moved away, had a couple
yes.
kids, got back
Mhm.
into crochet.
Yep.
And I started picking up patterns from stores, like the books that
Yes.
you go to a LYS.
Yes. Tear off a page.
Yeah, well, yeah. And, it was saying use whatever expensive yarn, and you're looking at the yarn and you're going, I guess I won't be making that.
Exactly.
Now I see a pattern. If I like the pattern, I'll get
Ooh,
the
I
same
need to
weight
use
yarn,
this. Yeah.
but I'll buy a little cheaper yarn
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
and make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. All right. When I was taught to crochet, I was given yarn and hook, and then it was years later that I found out there were patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So
Me
I
too.
was taught that I had to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I
So
was like, ooh, look at
patterns,
this.
I was like, you mean they have patterns?
Yeah,
And then I had to look
it was amazing.
My grandmother had patterns that she had
Yeah.
saved. Unfortunately, when she
Oh.
passed, my aunt threw it all out.
I didn't know there was
Oh,
any such thing. I did
Yeah, I
not.
didn't know for a number of years that there were patterns.
No.
Yep.
Yeah,
Until
that
I
was
started going to my local library where I had access to going
mhm.
to the local library. I didn't know there were patterns.
Oh yeah.
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know.
there was that much difference in yarn.
Well,
No, yeah.
You
For
know?
me, it was cotton from Aunt Lydia's, and it was Red Heart acrylic.
Red Heart.
Now,
That's
one
yeah.
other brand that I also grew up with, and I just now remembered it, was an acrylic 3-weight that was put out by Woolworth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that as well. I
We had
Mm-hmm.
remember that one.
yarn.
Yep.
Yep.
We had windhook.
I
What
never
else?
was exposed to that one.
I
But
had
those
wind.
were the two that we could go and buy at Gibson's.
Yeah,
Then you
that the
remember those.
Kentucky
where
Red
the
Heart.
yarn came from that I was aware of way back when I very first started came from the Five and Dime store. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it did.
Woolworth.
I don't remember
Woolworth.
That
or
was the
Five and Dime.
Woolworth brand. Yep.
Yeah. It
And
was,
then I had Ben Franklin.
Yep, we had Ben Franklin.
I had a lot
but
of.
it does make a difference. What yarn you
Yes, it
use,
does.
it makes a difference. What project you're making, it makes a difference. Of your personal preference,
Right.
it's going to make a big difference because if nothing else, if you don't like the yarn, you're going to make a mess with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you sit there and you fight and you fuss and you growl and you, I can't stand it, you're, put it up. Don't use it. Get something else.
Yeah.
Don't try
Yes,
to make anything
Dorcia.
out of it.
My grandmother used to do
That's
that.
what my great grandma
Stay
did.
on the
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. Save the patterns when they. Uh-huh.
Yep.
hmm
I didn't get online until 2009.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when I got my first computer.
Me too.
Wow.
Me too.
And
Didn't know there was any such thing.
nope. And I went online and I typed in free crochet sweater pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I printed that sucker out and I tried to make it and I tried to make it and I tried to make it. And I didn't give up. I took the pattern to a woman that owned a yarn store that
Yes.
I had started going in there and just buying 1 or 2 skeins at a
Right.
time. And I said, I'm really having a problem. I said, I know how to read patterns. I
Mhm.
said, but this one, it's just something's wrong. I don't know if it's me or the pattern. She took the pattern and she tried doing a mock up. She said, no, the pattern's wrong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And this, like I said, it's been a lot of
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so awesome, Beth. She says, I love that my daughter has the first blanket that I ever made her. That's
Nice.
really awesome. Yep.
But look, Beth, it got made, didn't it? And she
Yeah.
loved
Hmm.
it and she kept it no matter what it looks like, no
That's
matter how
right.
much you
It
know
doesn't
about
matter.
making it different now. It's just how much the person you're making for loves it.
That's
That's all.
Yes.
right.
And ladies, we have already been our hour. Oh, how my time flies when you're
Yes.
having fun.
But we do appreciate you joining us. And if
That's
you
right.
catch the replay, thank
Yes.
you so much. Please leave a
And
comment and hit that like button and let
yes,
us know
please.
that you were here.
Yes.
We would greatly appreciate that. Yes.
Yes. And if you have any tips, if it strikes your mind, put it in the comments down below. You
Yeah.
Yes,
know,
we would love
maybe
that.
for the next
We'd love
person
to hear it.
because you don't know what you know until somebody helps you learn it. You're not
That's
born
right.
knowing everything.
No.
Mm-mm.
You have to learn it at some time or another. You know. But anyway, you know, in a world where you can be anything, you guys, please be kind.
Yeah.
Froggy.
And hey, stay safe and be kind to one another and happy yarning. And
Mhm.
Sherry,
Smile. Make them wonder what you're up to.
Mm, mm.
And folks, please always remember, be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know. Could be your light they need to see. We thank you all so much again
Yes.
for being here with us. You could have been somewhere else, but you chose to stop in with us. So
Yes. And
until
we hope
next
for that.
week.
next
We love
week,
you.
we love you
Love you
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.